He was a good guy. He was always going around. He was pretty nice with everybody, you know, and got nothing to say against him.
You didn't ever think that something like that could happen in your neighborhood? You know, I mean, it's a very quiet neighborhood here, and it's tragic.
Well, police say there were no signs of a break-in, no signs of robbery, no signs of a struggle. They say Dino Bravo had an old criminal record for weapons, theft, and other charges, but they have no clue yet who might have murdered Dino Bravo or why. Kurt Bluff, Pulse News, Laval.
There he is, Dino Bravo!
Dino Bravo wrestled for years, working his way up to international champion. He last wrestled as a star with the World Wrestling Federation, but retired a few months ago. Bravo, whose real name was Adolfo Bresciano, fought regularly with wrestlers managed by Eddie the Brain Creechman.
I'm still stunned. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I was shook up, to tell you the truth.
To people in the area, Dino Bravo was not just a wrestler, but a quiet neighbor and family man, one they talked to frequently, but a man they did not know well.
Where do I start? Well, I wish everybody to go see the show Dark Side of the Ring with Dino Bravo. It's an amazing story. Dino Bravo was brought up with us, with Ricky Martel and the whole crew from Quebec. But Dino was a guy who never mixed his business. Never mixed his business. Never mixed his business. Like, you know, I only knew that he was married to the Catroni's daughter.
He was married to the Catroni's daughter.
Mr. Catroni, how do you do, sir?
Where do?
We're from Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes.
You know, CBC Television. And we're just wondering if is actually doing...
What do you want?
No, it's okay. We don't want anything. That we just want... Mr. Catroni, it has been alleged that you are the head of the Montreal Mafia.
Oh, no. I'm the head of nobody. I'm the head myself.
Well, they said that you were the godfather, the godfather.
The godfather of the mafia. Godfather, right?
It's not true?
No. And I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Me, I come every day, see my sister here, so.
Why is it that you are charged with things like loan sharking, that you're in charge of the protection rackets?
What protection? Where? I don't see nothing about that.
Well, that's what they have said.
Oh,
that
what
basically,
they said.
it's all being run under.
The same.
Yeah. But is it not true?
That's not true. No, not true. That's not true. No, not true. That's not true. No, not true.
It's not true that a number of people work under you dealing with these various things.
That's not true. Nothing is true.
What kind of work have you been doing all your life?
In my life.
What kind of work have you done?
Company, we make pepperoni for the pizza before, that's all.
You make pepperoni for pizza?
Yeah.
I see.
Both Violi and Catroni.
Donc, Vic Catroni, c'était le dirigeant de la plus grosse organisation criminelle du Québec et du Canada. Une organisation criminelle qui est tentaculaire, qui, dans le fond, trempait dans toutes les actes.
We obtained hundreds of police reports on the Violi-Catroni crime syndicate. Several reports describe meetings between the two mob leaders and Lino Saputo, who was giving them advice on their pepperoni company.
Which Catroni is like the big mafia in those days in Montreal, the biggest mafia. He was married to the daughter, but when he came to the Pulse Arena or the Forum or Montreal or everywhere else in the business, he kept it secret. We never knew. He never brought the business. So I learned a lot of stuff. Anyway, long story short, is the night before he got killed, 2 nights before, he calls me up and he says, Jacques. I said, Dino? He says, yeah. He said, can you come and see me? And I said, to myself, I'm on the phone, I'm saying, Jesus, maybe he wants to do something nice for me, you know, maybe he wants to push me, or maybe there's something great for me out there. So I said, okay, Dino, I said, I can't go see you tonight, but I said, I'll try and do my best for tomorrow. But he sounded funny on the phone. He sounded like I was his friend. He sounded like I was his last friend. I swear to God, he treated me so nice. So the next day, I don't go. And so now we're 2 days later, I get to my gas station, and I tell the guy in the gas station, and Rodden comes out and he says to me, he says, "Yeah, boy," he says, "your friend Dino there, your friend Dino there," he says, "he got it good, huh?"
His name was Adolfo Bresciano, was shot 15 times. Bravo's wife found him slumped on the living room floor of their home in Laval. There were no signs of a struggle or of forced entry to the house. Bravo retired from wrestling only a year ago. He was international heavyweight champion of wrestling in the early 1980s.
At least 15 times. They'll only know tomorrow when the morgue conducts the autopsy. 6 of those shots were in the face, and also something that it could be crucial to the story, 2 different caliber shells, meaning 2 different guns.
A wrestling star is shot to death. Take weeks, but in our Dino Bravo has been shot to death. We know where it happened.
And as I've explained to you multiple times on our show,
You know, in Montreal, there's a whole area in Montreal that it's Italians, old Italy.
and as I've also explained before, the mob has branched out of St. Leonardo. They are now in the suburbs, and a lot of them reside in and carry out businesses in Lorenzo.
At Bravo's Laval home. At Bravo's Laval home. Laval home. We know when it happened, early this morning. What we don't know is why it happened.
I can't understand why they would want to shoot somebody like Dino Bravo. The only thing I know, if he was in a fight with somebody, they'd have to use a weapon against him because he's tough.
What are you talking about? Because I'm on his way to his house now. And he says, yeah, and then he shows me the front page of the newspaper from one end to the other. 11 shots in the body and 7 shots in the head.
Herb reports.
Whoever shot Dino Bravo wanted him dead. The killer or killers fired at least 17 bullets from 2 separate guns, hitting the 44-year-old Bravo several times in the head and upper body. More bullets ricocheted around the room, one hitting a front window of the home on Place Michel Gamelin in the Vimont district of Laval. About 12:20 this morning, Bravo's wife returned home with her 6-year-old daughter and found her husband's body slumped in a chair in front of the living room television.
And then I'm saying to myself, it's a good thing I didn't go. I'm not being selfish, I'm just being honest. It's a good thing I didn't show up there, like, you know, at the same time as whoever did that. And so that was really, really weird. And but what can I say?
At one point in time, wasn't he in some trouble for some loan sharking related stuff as well?
Yeah, and we discovered so many things about Dino in this thing, because I didn't know Dino was a loan shark. I didn't thought Dino would put himself in a position to go collect money for people that owe money. I never thought that. But, you know, that was the thing that I explained also, was like, you know, it was hard for Dino when he had to start doing jobs for middle guys, and when he wasn't used like he wanted to be used, because he was a booker in Montreal. He used to create his character. He was the king. But like in the card of decks, I always compare, when you're a jack, you're not a king, and you don't run the business. Vince ran the business. He was just a number, and he had a hard time when he had to dye his hair blonde. You know, in Montreal, there's a whole area in Montreal that it's Italians, old Italy and stuff, and you don't see no Italians with blonde hair, not in those days. So he was embarrassed, you know. He was a guy like you, Dino. I know Kevin, and Dino's a tough guy too, and so I think you could relate very much to him being a tough Italian and a nephew of the mafia, and he's got blonde hair, and he's getting beat by middle guys. So it didn't work with him. He couldn't stand it. So finally, when he gave his notice and he left, that's the sorry thing about a wrestler, Devin. If you don't learn how to recreate yourself, you're gonna be in some shit, because you have not that much education, not that much of some other talent in life, to either an electrician or something, or so you don't have much. and you need money. And when you're used to having some money, like Dino was having coming in, he had to start doing some things. And I looked in that message yesterday, Dark Side of the Ring. It was amazing what his wife said. At the end, she said, Dino, I forgive you for the choices that you made. But every choice that you made was to save our family, was to feed our family. I felt a little sadness, inside of me, because I was one of the lucky ones, and like you too. We turned around and we do other things, but he did make a wrong decision, Dino. And but I'll tell you, he's going to be missed more now than he was when it happened, because he wasn't. The people was in a time where Dino wasn't well looked at in the WWF, so they kind of.
And I found him. Here he is, Adolfo Bresciano.